Markle decided to remove all traces of her directorial debut, Pearl, from the Archwell website. But truly now, is she hoping for another bite of the apple? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. Nice to see you today as ever. Thank you so much for all your kind comments about the recent stories. I know a lot of them do get me angry too. The thing about the woke London, oh please, the statues. Why can't they just leave history be? History's history. We're making history right now. Oh yes, we are. You're watching this and very soon this will become history. I think someone else though would like a certain part of her life to become history quite quickly, and that is of course the former cable TV star Meghan Markle, because it was all going so well, wasn't it, about 18 months ago. The mega deal with Netflix, she was going to do this deal with David Furnish, they were going to make a cartoon, you know the story, I won't bore you with the details, and then of course it spectacularly flopped. As I said to you before, really, it's not all Meghan's fault, let me also point that out, because it's a balance really with all TV companies. When there's a new person at the helm, then of course it's going well, they love you, then they look at the bottom line and think actually we can dump you because we don't really need you anymore and we can find somebody cheaper and perhaps just buy a programme in. Now for Meghan herself, she'd never made a programme, so that was a problem in itself. Of course David Furnish has some previous experience in making films, but you know, it really was a brand new project. And then of course we told you that Prince Harry basically tried to get the deal back on track with Netflix. After all, they are the biggest streaming giant in the world, or were, until people decided to desert them. And it's interesting to note also, isn't it, that there are rumours abound that Netflix will be taking even more ads onto their platform in order to subsidise the problems that they've encountered recently. But is it now truly all over for Pearl? Well, according to a very good source, not quite, and here's why. My sources tell me that, as ever, allegedly, Meghan and Harry are basically looking at two options. One with Apple TV, that's the home of course of the morning show with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon. They hope that something could be kick-started there. And of course Disney. Now of course she does have some connection to Disney. Remember, she did the voiceover for that elephant documentary, and then we saw Prince Harry begging for work at that premiere for The Lion King. So perhaps, even though that guy's now moved on, Disney may look favourably upon her. But let me tell you this, that a lot of people aren't discussing, and this is the important bit. Whoever decides to take on Pearl next, and rumours are it could be Apple, will be getting it at a bargain basement rate, and let me explain the reasons why. When you go second time around with a project, they don't really want to invest as much as the first time. So they decide, of course, what they want to offer you. And here's the deal. It really would consist of whoever decides to sign it on, having them really tell you what to do. So perhaps at this time around, and as ever we have to say allegedly, there will be no big offer of a mega money up front. There will be enough to make the production, and then of course profits would come from how many people stream it. But the bigger problem for Meghan moving forward is truly this. They would expect you to actively promote it, and by that they mean going on TV shows, radio interviews, magazine interviews, that sort of stuff. The second time around when you're doing anything is always a lot harder in broadcast, because they would see this as simply not a very good idea, tainted goods. This is how broadcasting companies work. They decide, of course, whether they feel it could get you at a rock bottom rate price. Of course, whoever signs Meghan and Harry next will get a lot of publicity, but then the same problems will ensue. Will this be a success? And for Meghan and Harry, they truly do have to make this a very big success. Now, as you can imagine, Prince Harry's very keen to kickstart this idea, move it forward and get production underway, as is Elton John's paramour, David Furnish. Right now, I can tell you that they're all talking to all interested parties and hopeful that something could be concluded very soon for an autumn release, perhaps directly to streaming, or hopefully for them, even into cinema. As ever, when I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.